of that for nothing. No, it's still not working. What is the problem exactly? Okay, that's a genuine question. What the fuck is happening? YouTube, hello. Yeah, okay, so now it's live. Okay, so now it's live. Okay, well, I did all of that for nothing. Well, hello there, because I thought I was alive, but apparently I wasn't. I feel so stupid right now. So, I kind of started watching thinking the live was already on, but it wasn't. So sadly, you didn't get my reaction. But yeah, welcome to this, everyone. Yeah, no, sorry, not that. Originally, I wanted to do a live reaction of episode 98, but there was some problems, and so I shifted to an Among Us live. But yeah, now we're back on track. Sorry. Maybe when the episode is ended, maybe I'll do that. Sorry, because I did like 16 minutes thinking the live was on, but it wasn't. So I feel like an idiot. Hey again. I'm probably am stupid. Honestly, I'm probably am. But hey, it's only 3 minutes on 1 hour, so you won't miss like most of my reactions.
But women, even if we evolve the human population on Earth, how will we fight up against this superior technology?
Yeah, exactly. That was what I was saying when I was talking to myself. Anyway, yeah. So yeah. I mean, technically, although there's a low chance because the Ultranites consider Earth as God, which is kind of weird. How do you even pray to a planet? Like, do they pray? Do you even pray? That's a valid question. Do the Ultranites pray? That's actually a good question. What do you guys think? Do you think they do prayers or do they? Yes, it is. It is possible history because it posted something. It is possible history, and he's also right here, alongside Devanted One and False Up Gaming and Vividin. Oh yeah, shit, I didn't watch Vividin. Yeah, who was also on my For You page? Let me check because I have a lot of people in my For You page. Oh my god. What does GTG means? I'm sorry, I don't know every English slang or a shortened version of words or combinations of words. Yeah, so yeah, this is my For You page. Don't even ask questions, please. What the? Yeah, exactly. This doesn't make sense. Possible history. We got this guy, John Parker. We got Jordan Hill. We got Undead Humor. False Up Gaming again. Yeah, Tyranitar the goat. You know what? I feel like I mean, that's a valid question though. It's just a job, I mean. Okay, most of the critics about Marvel videos are kind of stupid. Anyway, so back back on track, please.
Technology? I'm not sure. We must utilize what we have.
Damn it.
Perhaps our technicians could find a way to reverse engineer their weaponry?
Good luck with that, bro. Good luck.
That is possible, but we're so busy working on the machine. Those resources become from a meteor unlike any other elements we've seen on Earth.
Wait, there were resources in that meteor? I mean, yeah, it's a meteor, but bro, why do I feel like it's turning into pork?
They're hard to use.
On top of that, the Ultranites are being extremely careful to collect all the equipment from their casualties in Africa. As Mara hasn't been able to recover a single thing.
Oh yeah, right, they did an invasion of Africa, damn. It's been a while since I've seen WICSO because, I absolutely wanted to do a live reaction of that.
As Mara is also being destroyed by the Ultranites. They've lost thousands already. Only a few hundred Ultranites have been killed in comparison.
Damn.
With the evolution of humanity, those numbers would be a lot more similar. Yes, but we're still at a disadvantage.
Yes, honestly, sir, they should be happy that, because, apparently, those guys need time to sort of this kill issue when it comes to terraforming, which is something the star people aren't. So yeah, star people are just superior. I don't even know what that image is, and I don't want to know, honestly. I don't want to know. I honestly don't really want to know. I'm not going to be honest.
Give it time, gentlemen. If all goes right, we utilize the prophecy as suggested. We should be able to expel this alien force from Earth.
And if more Alchemites come to Earth?
We fight.
I thought I was going to say we're fucked, but... No, you don't fight, you lose. I mean, you fight, but you lose, you don't win. I think you didn't say we win. You just said we fought.
So today we're going to be continuing to take a look at a scenario where civilization starts over. We are now on episode 98 of the series, and in the previous episode we saw a ton of world-changing events happening, such as the Alternites beginning to colonize various different continents that they had resurrected. We saw a few anarchist territories get taken over by countries such as America, the Gold Team, and the Dutch Republic. We also got a little bit of lore about the Alternites in the cinematics, and also you saw a little bit of that in today's cinematic. But the main thing
did I miss something? Did I actually watch episode 97? I have doubts now. I feel I did watch that. Wait, I gotta, because, wait, I not watch it? Like, I don't know, I'm supposed to have watched it, right? Yeah, I did watch it, yeah. Oh yeah, right. This didn't think went anarchist and yeah, no. So I did actually watch it. It's just I didn't remember it too well. Okay, no, I actually did watch it. Okay, so I'm good.
What we saw happen in the previous episode was the large-scale war that broke out in Africa. This is the Great African War between the pro-Unitarians.
Great African War. Okay, so there's no way we just came up with because, this is kind of a New World spoiler, but like, I already planned in the Great African War, and it had, the same names. So, no, I mean, obviously, I'm not saying that is copying me, because, I only, this only happened in my French channel, and I doubt that, this only commented once in my normal channel, so I don't think he even knew my French channel is, but that's kind of ironic, Two people coming with the exact same name for the same thing. I mean, technically, probably happened more times, to be fair. Anyway.
And the anti-Unitarians, aka the Sovereigners. This all happened after Tanzania staged a false flag operation at the very south of this lake over here. A lot of the assembly nations in Africa came to the aid of Tanzania, while a lot of the NWO, and also notably...
Come on Tanzania, you can do this! They gotta win this!
Some of the neutral countries came to the aid of the Unitarians. A worldwide conflict was avoided, however, there has been a little bit of controversy.
I want them to win. Yo, hi, Georgian mapper. Tanzania. They gotta win this. It's a win, right? You know what they're telling me.
As the Alternites have landed in Africa, which breaks the agreement they made with the Assembly of Nations. More specifically, the agreement that said the Alternites would not leave their own continents, and they would not interfere with the human world. But if you guys do enjoy today's video, make sure to leave a like on it and subscribe to the channel if you're new. As always, all the support is greatly appreciated. Make sure to check out the channel memberships, link down in the description below, as well as the Discord server. And let's go ahead and jump straight into this video.
I wish I did.
Now, I'm going to do a quick little recap of the cinematics because I haven't done this before, and I feel like I could help clear some things up if they weren't clear already. So basically, the Alternate leader in the cinematic was angry because his vice commander defied his orders and made an invasion of the Green Team down here in Africa. This was not by the orders of the Alternate leader, this was by the orders of the vice commander, who once again defies his orders and essentially breaks away from the chain of command. The Alternate leader stresses that this ruins his plan, and now they have to think of something else, all while being cautious of this entity, which hasn't really
ain't no way bro is wearing his own merch.
been talked about much the Empire. All that is confirmed is that the Alternites are fighting the Empire and are rapidly losing. Now, as for the
Empire, I swear if they look like the Q, I'm gonna think he just read all tomorrows and was like, yes, this is perfect. I swear, so they look even remotely like the Q. This would be really suspicious.
Meeting, which is once again the secret organization known as the Rapid Human Evolution Project, William Rothrock, who was the elite from America during World War V, and the rest of his group are now reaffirming that the Alternites are the hostile threat that the Singularity Testament, remember the thing they found at the bottom of the Indian Ocean, right around over here where this island is. If you remember episode 90, when Zhang had the meeting with the Assembly, he said that there was this outside...
Drink water.
Oui, c'est vrai. Viens.
I'm coming back real quick. Sorry guys, I have to fix something for my family because apparently the TV wasn't working well. Yeah, so did I miss anything on the chat? Why? Hey Ian, yeah, he's... Why does it sound like a fan? Coming real quick, yeah, coming back real quick. Sorry again, because apparently it was still not fixed. Because what would my family be that would be without? Nobody's gonna get spoilers for this. Almost everyone is giving this the final. Maybe back to the good old times. Yeah. I know I'm late. I know. At least, but like I know know Tanzania's gonna win
the
this.
threat that the
know
Singularity
it.
Testament mentioned. The rep group formed to find a solution to dealing with that. They know they're overwhelmed. They know that they're at a technological disadvantage, so they are trying.
Oh my god. Okay, so normally everything is fixed now. Am I the unluckiest person when I'm starting lives? Yes, apparently. Apparently, yeah. Back, yeah, welcome back. Oh my god. I can finally do my reaction in peace.
Charged with finding a way around it. Now, they're secret. Most of them are outlawed because, remember, Rossrock is wanted by the Assembly. And notably, they have a lot of talk about a machine. And if you remember the name of the group, the Rapid Human Evolution Project, you might be able to put two and two together. Anyway, though, enough talking about the lore.
Yeah, I think we all know what the machine does. I mean, obviously you guys know, but I mean, I guess the name was pretty obvious, you know. Geez, I wonder what the Rapid Evolution Human Project is. The machine. I wonder what the machine from the Rapid Human Evolution Project does. Jeez. Does it like evolve humans? Could it be? Oh my god.
Let's get back into the Great War of Africa. So coming down over here to the alternate front in the green team over here. Now it is important to note that this country is fighting alongside the anti-Unitarians, but that likely has nothing to do with the motives of the alternates.
I swear they don't help Tanzania. Because Tanzania has to win this war.
We will now enter into the capital city of the green team and take it with relative ease. Now, they are actually moving at this speed. No, not really, that's really fast, but they're moving very quickly. As said in the cinematic, thousands upon thousands of casualties have been reported for the green team. However, only hundreds have been recorded for the alternates, which really shows the superior technology that the aliens have over the people of the WICSO world. Also, this nation, the green team, is called Asmara. It's like one of the only countries in the series that have an official fictional name that isn't basic like Farmers Republic or Mesopotamia. But no matter, the alternates will completely take over the nation.
Well, we got an official name for this. That's cool, I guess.
Of Asmara. This happens extremely quickly. This is undoubtedly the quickest invasion that the Earth has ever seen. That includes spanning from Ultimate Future Season 1. This happened extremely fast. And because it happened so fast, the world Ultimate Future Season 1, this invasion that the Earth has ever seen. That includes spanning from Ultimate Future Season 1. This happened extremely fast. And because it happened so fast, the world is going to be sent into even further chaos and panic. Remember, everyone is already uneased. Everyone is already in complete turmoil. Everyone feels like the world is falling apart. You know, all the anarchist states formed. But now that the Alternites have attacked the nation of Earth without any reason, things are getting a lot worse. So much so that the governments of various countries, and it is a majority of countries, are starting to act very strange, very aggressive, like I said in the previous episode, and also getting pretty dangerous. It's very sporadic, very messy, and it's going to lead to some pretty bad decisions. But for now, we're going to finish up
to another world war, isn't it?
War in Africa, and we'll start down here in Tanzania as the Unitarians take two major cities and begin to approach the capital city of Tanzania. Now the African Unitarians have begun to shift the tide of the war in their favor. as they go ahead and reconnect up with this major city that had previously been encircled and are able to push Tanzania all the way back. This now means that Tanzania has no fronts that are invading into the Unitarian country, which is really not ideal at this stage of the war.
Come on, Tanzania, you can do this. You can do this, Tanzania.
Because as the clock ticks,
No.
African Unitaria gains more and more strength.
like that.
The government has employed some very effective propaganda that states that it was actually the Unitarians that were attacked in a false flag operation. Now, that is the truth. That is actually what happened. But you have to remember that the Assembly of Nations, which was the OG international order, doesn't exactly believe it, while the New World Order nations, the ones that are
Obviously, they believe it. They're all like weirdly have the same ideology. You know, I always hated the Unitarians. I always hated them. Honestly, man, I always hated them. No. They were sus. They're planning something, and they even defended a nation, even though they broke a treaty. Like, no, Unitarians, nah.
and with the Unitarians are starting to get there. They are starting to believe that this indeed could have been a false flag operation carried out by Tanzania to make their organization, the NWO, look bad, or more so maybe the Unitarians. But it doesn't matter. Most of the world is staying neutral in this conflict, and really it's only being fought between African nations. The African Unitarians will go ahead and surround the capital/metropolitan area of Tanzania, cutting off all of the other major cities up north from them, while over here in the upper areas of Tanzania, they'll carry out a wide sweeping offensive.
There's nothing we can do.
Now, there probably isn't too much population here.
What are you all saying? Back not yeah. No. Wait, but didn't you already watch this? You know what? I'm not even going to say anything. Wait, did Maxim left? No, I think it's just me and Nick Barton.
Here, but the Unitarians will begin to move out and secure any important areas or outposts they deem necessary for winning the war against Tanzania. They're also notably going to start a very crucial offensive up the coast of this lake here, and which is very successful.
Well, no, that's one natural border.
Cutting Tanzania off from its axis and further secluding it, which further harms it. As you can see, Tanzania has all of a sudden begun to lose very greatly. But shifting our focus up north now to Libya, they are destroying the blue team in Central Africa, who was never really a strong nation to begin with. Notably, we now see brown team forces cross over into this light blue country here. They don't go super far, but they do have the overall advantage, which is kind of alarming for the Unitarian squad. This is a very important country in the front line, and if it were to fall, bad things would begin to happen. So the Unitarians back down south will begin to speed up their invasion of Tanzania. It gets a little bit sloppy, and they lose way more resources and troops than they originally needed to, but they have to start to send forces up north to help out their allies, who are beginning to falter at the might of Libya, but also the Orange Team. They are probably just as strong as Libya, maybe a little bit stronger because the Libyan government is on the newer side. I'm not too sure. I want to say that Libya is stronger, but I definitely see a world where the Orange Team could be. Anyway, the capital area around Tanzania is being heavily bombed by the Unitarians. This isn't really to go with their policy. You know, they're usually very pro-civilian, only targeting military.
Right. Because they're so perfect, huh? Right. I'm totally not believing that. Yeah, I won't believe you.
Military forces. However, the urgency of this war is making them do something.
They're planning something.
Things that a lot of normal countries would do. Now, this isn't like a bad thing. Like, you know, other countries do this all the time. The Unitarians try to refrain from doing it, though. It's just that, you know, maybe in some desperate times you have to go ahead and do what you gotta do. Anyway, the capital city of Tanzania is eventually taken by Unitarian forces, and Tanzania's plan of staging a false flag operation to make the Unitarians look like an evil organization is partly successful, but also partly a failure. Successful because the Assembly of Nations believes that they were attacked by the Unitarians, which is going to harm their reputation, but also a failure because Tanzania is barely existing at this point. The Unitarians will go ahead and blitz up to the border of the red team up here in two areas, which will go ahead and seclude two different areas of Tanzania from the remaining areas. And after taking over a major city on the coast over here and approaching the border of the gold team, we actually see that country send their military into Tanzania.
Right, so now they're working with the gold team, but they're all fine, they're all good. I don't care if it's a new government, it's still the gold team. I'm not trusting the new government. I know damn well there's still people believing in the older government. I know damn well. I know the country was new to oblivion, but still.
Yeah, hoping to reclaim some lost lands. Now, like I said, some governments are starting to make some crazy decisions that normally they wouldn't make. The gold team is not the same gold team as they were during World War IV. It is...
Yes, indeed, but there's still probably some people who agreed with the old government, This always tends to happen, even after major wars.
A night and day difference. But, under the current circumstances of the world, the gold team might make some different decisions than they usually would have. The whole international order, the whole, being intelligent with what you do with your country, that has been thrown out the window. Basically, we've reverted time back to around the World War III era, where countries would just attack other countries for really no exact...
Right. Tanzania is dead. No, you're lying to me. Classic Ethiopia, for real. What do you mean deserved?
Reason other than wanting to expand. World War V really slowed that down across the world. Countries were very logical with their decisions. However, now that the international order is gone...
Well, yeah, with all, nukes and all that, yeah. And the elites and all that, that probably come some people.
That isn't the case, like I said. So the gold team will go ahead and occupy these areas of Tanzania. Now, would that make the anti-Unitarian coalition mad? No, because it's a Unitarian coalition, not a coalition against the gold team. So basically, this is just a simple one-on-one conflict that has nothing to do with the rest of the war. But this will actually be a huge help for the Unitarians. Now, notably, the Ethiopians do not like the Unitarians at all. So maybe part of the reason they took over Tanzania was because they didn't want the Unitarians to border them. But nonetheless, the Unitarians are now sending their entire military up north to begin to counteract the expansion of the coalition. The Red Team at this point is not functioning as a nation. It has completely collapsed, which means that this is just a matter of moving troops through the territory, which the Unitarians successfully do. And not long after, they will begin to send troops into the purple African country as well, starting to approach their capital city. So this has been an amazing turnaround for the Unitarians. It just took them a little bit to kind of build up their forces, build up their equipment and resources to go after all of Tanzania. Remember, they were technically attacked. They weren't expecting a full-scale continental war, so preparation took a little bit. But now moving back over to the active front line over here, the Unitarians are getting very close to meeting up with more of their forces. Now, of course, they have their troops down here, but I'm saying that their front line is getting pretty close to the active front lines over here. Anyway, the brown team will go ahead and secure all of this land over from the blue team, who is still getting a whooping from the red team, aka Libya, who now cuts off an...
I feel like the Unitarians might accept a white peace, because with how it's going, I don't feel like they could, because obviously there are probably some resistance movement in Tanzania, and then there are probably problems, I don't think they can both deal with Ethiopia, the orange country, and rebels in Tanzania at the same time, so it's probably going to end with a light peace deal or even a white peace, in my opinion.
Area from the rest of the country, and at this point, these guys are basically about to collapse. Now, they do have 3 major cities down here, which will help them out, but they've lost their capital and a ton of other cities. But Unitarian
nukes are banned, so you can nuke the Unitarians, damn it. That's bad.
Reinforcements have reached the border over here on the brown team, and they make a small counteroffensive down here in the southernmost area. However, they struggle to hold back against the brown team's forces up in the north, who are going to go ahead and advance even deeper into teal team territory. Now, at this very point in the war, everyone is getting pretty exhausted. However, the wind has just blown into some news from the north about a certain country near Libya who might be getting involved in the conflict. That very country has begun to amass mass amounts of equipment, tanks, and all military assets on the border of Libya, which comes at a complete surprise, as this country was once seen as a close ally of the Libyan government. A nation that, in the chaos of the world, has drawn closer to Mesopotamia, a nation that for a long time was a strong, independent, sovereign country who saw through itself its own determination. That country is Egypt, who officially joins the war on the side of the Unitarians, and this action by the government of Egypt is going to have...
No! Why? Egypt, why, bro? Please, West Africa, please join the war. Please, West Africa join the war. Please, 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 West Africa, please. Please, West Africa, please. Several South Africa, please, please, please join the war against Unitarians. Please, 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 please. Please, bro. I need this.
A lot of backlash amongst your people. Now, Egypt was influenced to join this war by certain someone over here.
Always the old empire. It's always them. And then people are gonna say they're innocent. They're not. Always them. It's always them.
But also you have to remember they're allied with the Mesopotamian Unitarians, who of course
I don't care.
allied with the African Unitarians. And the Unitarian victory in this war, of course, will serve the interest of the Mesopotamian.
You're right, of course. Not they're acting like the USA of our time. Like, yeah, right.
Is up here, and thus that might also serve Egypt's interests. Plus, there's land to be gotten in Libya.
What is West Africa and South Africa? What are West Africa and South Africa doing when you need them?
Now, like I said, the people of Egypt are furious with this decision. They are...
So rebellion, full-on civil war, and then Egypt gets destroyed, and then we can focus on Africa Unitarian, right? That's what he's gonna say, right?
Still close to the people of Libya because of the Libyan civil war. Egypt accepted a lot of refugees from Libya, and in that time, the two communities grew very close together. The people feel betrayed by their government, and the betrayal of the Libyan people is something that the people of Egypt will not forget. This is a foreign war that Egypt has nothing to do with. They don't have to get involved, they never would have gotten involved, and this is a former ally. Invading Libya is seen as an insane act by the government.
Which is why they rebel, right?
But remember what I said earlier, the world has...
What are the anarchists doing when you need them? For once... Man, fuck this, man. Because it is deserved. No one. I mean, I don't know what are you reacting to. Because, man, fuck my life, dude. Man, what is this?
Become insane. Nonetheless, Egypt's advance into Libya is brutal. The Libyans, who were expelling most of their military forces in the south, saw the amassment of troops on the border but thought nothing much of it. They didn't think that Egypt would stray this far away from them. In the end, responding to that and pulling more troops up was a grave mistake by this country, who is probably going through the 5 stages of grief. But war is never fair, and humanity will always find values to betray. The Egyptian military is effective at taking 5 major cities in Libya before they see any kind of counteroffensive, which does come as the Libyan forces reach up north. But those same forces are unable to advance into either of the major cities. Egypt's entire military is involved in this war, and you have to remember that Egypt doesn't border any hostile nations. Of course, they're allied with Mesopotamia, and they're allied with the blue team down here, so this territory won't, of course, attack them. And then all the different groups down here are too weak to attack Egypt, so they really only have one border to worry about, and thus, they can send in their entire military. Most countries can't do that in a war. Just like how the Unitarians probably...
And West Africa is just going to let that happen.
...aren't doing that because they border South Africa, a very strong nation to the south, and even though they are friendly, we just saw Egypt betray Libya in a way, so you can never be too careful. But with Egypt joining the war, we have the blue team down here with mostly the help of the Mesopotamians beginning to push back against...
Right, always the Mesopotamians. It's always them.
Against their invaders, and they begin to establish a lot of their lost land. Notably, we come down to the purple team, where we see Mesopotamian forces approaching their capital city, but before they do anything else, the purple team will actually surrender over to the Unitarians. They saw Egypt join the war, they saw the giant wave of Unitarian troops, and they wanted out. They cut a deal with the Unitarians, which says that they won't lose any land, and will instead just have to pay for any reparations they caused. So, they're going to keep track of all the damage that this country did, and you're just going to write us a check for that. Pretty simple. The Unitarians are going to offer this deal to a lot of the other countries in Africa.
And let's be real, it's not like that country did much anyway. Let's be real for a second.
But none of them are going to accept it because they want to keep fighting. But at this very point in time, the Diamond Alliance is down to its last 3 members, whereas the Pentagon Alliance still has 4 strong, well, 3 strong, and this guy. who's just chilling. Oh, and also, Egypt's in the Pentagon Alliance now. I didn't draw that on the map, but that should be pretty apparent. And also, it should be pretty apparent now as to why the Unitarian side is winning. The Egyptians will go ahead and capture a major city just outside the capital city, and their forces are now right here. Now, it is notable to see that the people of Libya are now extremely nationalistic to the cause of defending their country. They were betrayed by yet another country, and now they feel as if they're on their last leg, they're on their last heel, and they need to fight back with all they have. And when that's said and done, the nationalistic movement in Libya will do a ton of damage to the armies of Egypt as they now exert themselves over into the central plain area. They're unable to move north past Egyptian fortifications, but they do find weaknesses in the front line and are able to advance there. Back down south in the blue team, we see that the Unitarians and their allies are continuing to push back any Libyan forces down here that are stationed to protect. Most of them are being recalled to the north, which is leading to a massive re-liberation campaign by the Pentagon Alliance, leaving pretty much the brown team and the orange team to fight this front line over here by themselves. So far, that's been going so good. They have the advantage here even with Unitarian troops, and simply enough, it's just a matter of geography right now. The Unitarians are super far away, their forces are getting exhausted when they get to this front line, and that's leading to more casualties, whereas these guys are, of course, on the front line, which makes it a lot easier. Now, notably up here, we actually have Libya going ahead and relinquishing all control over the garrison of this country here to the brown team, so that will require them to use more military forces while freeing up some forces for Libya to use against Egypt. But the Libyans are very hesitant to pull all troops out of the blue team down here because, as you can see, the Unitarians are the main forces fighting on this front, and they are rapidly approaching Libyan territory until they stop.
Wait, what?
And the Unitarians set up a defensive front. This is not a good sign, because now those troops are moving on over here towards the brown team. Egyptian forces will fight back in a counteroffensive against the Libyans, and this will go pretty well. However, they're unable to amount to the progress they made previously, which could be a troubling sign for Egypt. And at this point, a certain country...
Wait, is Egypt collapsing? Wait, no, I don't like wait, no. What is he going to say?
Mesopotamia will begin to send volunteer forces into Egypt. Of course, they're not joining the war. This isn't officially military troops. These are volunteer forces. This could heighten tension.
Right, like the 500 million. There's 500,000 that got, that helped North Korea when the Americans pushed during the Korean War. It's going to be the same thing, isn't it?
The world, but at this point, Mesopotamia is a pretty strong country, definitely a top 15 military power, maybe probably top 10 power as well. Definitely top 10, I don't know what I'm saying. So countries aren't really going to mess with them, per se. They won't be able to get away with everything, but they can get away with things such as sending volunteers into a foreign war. But moving back down to the front line between the brown team and the teal team, with the occurrence up here with Libya and the resurgence of the blue team, Unitarian forces, like I said, are now focusing solely on this front line, and when they get here, it begins to turn the tide of war extremely in their favor. It's already pretty obviously going in their favor. If you can't tell already, they have a pretty good chance of winning right now.
And so you're gonna bet they're gonna force their Unitarian ideology on everyone's ABT. You're gonna bet they're gonna do that.
So of course, this means that they're gonna have to push back against the brown team, and we now have teal team forces crossing the border and beginning to invade into the brown team, taking over a major city which previously was thought to be pretty protected, not so much anymore. And these forces will continue, now starting to formulate a bulge which will turn into a spearhead towards the capital city of the brown team. Now, it is also important to note that at this very point in time, these countries are all exhausted. Every single one of them, except for Egypt, who just joined the war. The capital of Libya is taken by Egyptian forces, and after this occurs, the government goes into a complete spiral. A certain group down here is starting to talk about re-emerging. Have no fear, West Africa is here, and they carpet bomb the entire area. This is a war crime, West Africa.
So they do that, but they don't.
You can't do that. But hey, world's crazy, so who cares? So yeah, no insurgency in Libya because, well, they're all burning alive. It was Roman napalm. That's an even bigger war crime. You're definitely in trouble if this all...
As the Unitarians can get away with whatever they want, so can West Africa, I don't care.
Pans out well. But Egypt captures all of Libya's major cities, and from here, they begin to rapidly move through the country, and really there's not much happening here. So Libya essentially is going to just fall into guerrilla warfare in some of the most like geographically challenging areas. This big
you can't deal with guerrilla warfare now, can you?
old desert over here. Egyptian forces probably aren't really moving through here, and eventually those forces are either going to run into the other countries or they will surrender, meaning that Egypt is successful in jumping Libya. Extremely unfair for Libya, who was jumped by what they thought to be a friendly nation, just a few months ago, maybe even weeks ago. But with Libya out of the war, the war is now extremely in the favor of the Unitarians. In fact, they have a 99.99999999999999999% chance of winning. Very, very good.
Just a 100, because the way you say it's like people like me would hope like, oh my god, that means Unitarians will lose, but Will knows it's not the case. Will know it is. He likes to say, oh yes, in reality Will know it's over.
Good chance. Although I'm not good with math, so maybe it's not entirely guaranteed yet. But I mean, at this point, it's basically over.
Unless the alternates join the war on the side of the anti-Unitarian. Oh yeah, that would be good. That would be good. Nah, that would be good though.
The brown team is about to check out of the war, and the orange team is only here because, well, they're not being directly attacked just yet, so might as well keep fighting. But the thing that will actually officially end this war is when this anarchist group down here begins to take territory from the brown team without any resistance. Like, they're waltzing right into this country, and there's, like, very little fighting back. And the brown team at that point is like, yeah, we're just going to do that. It's probably the smart thing to do. And after they surrender, we have the complete fall of the occupation of this country, which leaves just Orange Africa in this war, and they're like, yeah, we're good. So they will go ahead and make a deal with the Unitarians, a similar deal to what the purple team got over here. They aren't like going to be occupied. Now, I should say that this country also isn't being occupied. I just colored it in because, heat of the moment, I guess. But the pro-Unitarians are successful in defeating the Southerners. The false flag operation by Tanzania failed in a physical sense. However, worldwide, the reputation of the Unitarians is a little bit harmed. So in a way, Tanzania sacrificed themselves and their allies for some animosity towards the Unitarians. Will that pay out in the end? Who knows? But we can go ahead and take a look at one of the largest peace treaties in African history, the Treaty of Crete. And looking at this treaty here, we see that there are a ton of major changes in Africa.
We're signing Crete. Damn, bro. Just giving Anatolia back to Crete, bro. That's not fair.
The Diamond Alliance was not spared.
What is this peace deal? Look at Tanzania. Nah. Tanzanians are going to say they're for peace.
They got a pretty harsh peace treaty for all of their members other than the orange team and the purple team, who, like I said, got special deals since they left the war. But let's go ahead and begin to break it down, starting over here in Tanzania. This country has been pretty solid throughout
I hate my life.
history. They haven't lost a ton of land in any of their wars, particularly until now. Tanzania will lose the most land out of anyone in their alliance, and that is because this is now deemed to be a false flag operation because the victors write history, of course. But the Unitarians will take a large chunk of land, and they have begun to cement themselves as one of the largest countries in the world, and also probably one of the most powerful nations in Africa. Now, as for the gold team up here who intervened in the war for the sake of reclaiming lost land, they will be annexing this piece of land down here, which actually I forgot a province. Sorry, Tanzania, you're losing just a little bit more land. But now, as you can see, they reformed their previous borders. These guys are looking
and how is that a good thing?
Fortunately, very familiar. Just missing a little bit of something. Anyway, the red team here was basically just kind of like the battlegrounds of the war. They actually don't lose too much land. The Unitarians will annex a province down here, and then the purple team will annex a few provinces over here. They take 3 major cities, which is pretty detrimental for these guys. They're left pretty weak. They have to move their capital city, so that's pretty unfortunate for them. But Central to South Africa is now looking a lot more different. But going up north, there is still a lot of changes to be discussed. Starting with the brown team, who will go ahead and give up a few provinces.
Why are the anarchists gaining land? And then people are gonna say, oh, but the Unitarians are good. Then why did they let anarchists take some land, huh? I hate the Unitarians. Yes, indeed. Hate. Let him exactly. Yes, I know you just copied Am's speech. H. This hundreds. You know what? I'm gonna have to do Am impression. hate. Let me tell you how much I've come to hate you since I began to live. There are 387.44 millions of miles of printed circuits that yeah, no, I give up. I'm gonna give it
over to the teal team. This is their spoils of the war. They also are forced to release the sand color country here, and are also forced to give them a province, which is kind of surprising considering the fact that this country did a whole bunch of nothing for their side of the war, but somehow, some way, they still get land.
Sometimes I really hope I did a webcam, but then I kind of don't want to show my face, but I feel like that would make those life way more interesting. Well, maybe one day. I don't know, man.
And then finally, the green team down here, the little anarchy group, they also get land. I don't know why they were invited to the peace treaty, but they were able...
Yeah, oh, but Unitarians are good, right? Oh, yeah, they're just good.
To put in their demands, and they got what they wanted. Now, Orange Africa probably could have just wiped them off the map, but they didn't do that, so... Good for them. But now moving up for the final changes up here, we have land going to two countries from Libya. First of all, the blue team will get a province from them, which goes ahead and extends their border a little bit. Then we have Egypt getting a bulk of land. Now, Libya
Fuck you, Egypt.
probably lost the second most land out of all the countries in this war, once again only behind Tanzania. The brown team is probably in third place and the red team in fourth. But Libya is looking very square, and I don't really like it, so I'm going to change it slightly. Shout out to the weirdest looking province ever. But these are our new borders of Africa. The false flag operation fails, and the pro-Unitarians end up getting a ton of land. But now moving up north here to the continent of Europe, we're heading on over to the...
it's the best continent in the whole series. And no, I'm not saying that out of any type of bias.
Dutch Republic.
I mean, yeah, we got the best country of the whole series in this continent, so it makes sense.
Here, who is now executing a policy that is named the survival of our nation, in quotes. That sounds like a very sane policy that surely isn't restrictive of human rights and might even, kind of...
I don't like where this is going.
Shake up the balance of Europe a little bit, right? No, that's exactly what it is. It's going to do all of those things. The Dutch Republic is one of the countries that is having a lot of panic from their population within, and in order to counteract that, the government goes ahead and enforces restrictions. We're talking curfews. We're talking, you're not allowed to gather in large groups because that's kind of risky of rebellion. There's a heavy police presence, a slight military presence in some of the more major cities, including the capital.
I mean, I don't see how that's bad. I don't see how that's a bad thing. How is that a bad thing?
City, and most notably, their border with the Alternites is the most fortified border in...
Well, yeah, obviously what happened previously, I feel like that's just valid response. I don't see the problem here.
The world, that thing is deadly. You are not getting across it. The Alternites would have trouble getting across it, but they still would because they're the Alternites.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
Doesn't matter though. The Dutch is going into full lockdown mode, and part of that policy, the survival of our nation policy, involves making sure that the country is big, expansionist. You see.
I think it's good.
They kind of threw in a little bit of some secret sauce in there. They were cooking up some, what's a good Dutch dish? I'm not really sure what kind of food they eat.
Let me shake. Let me shake. Good Dutch dish. Okay. Wait, could someone call Dutch mapping? I think I have this Discord. Normally I should have him somewhere. Let me check. Damn it, I had it on my old accounts. Well, I don't have him. I can't ask him what is a good dish. Sorry, guys. This doesn't look great, I won't lie. Damn, that looks good though. Damn, that also looks good. Damn, I didn't know. Never done a good shit like that. Yeah, I'm looking hungry now. Damn, I wasn't weird.
So they were making some 50% seaweed stuff, and they threw in a little bit of crack in there. Candy crack, like sugar.
Okay, why not? I guess that works.
Not the bad kind. And with that, some very angry politicians who like land got their way, and the Survival of Our Nation bill is also kind of a ploy to take over a lot of land in Europe.
Well, I mean, this is just rightful Dutch land, honestly.
Basically, the democratic government of the Dutch team goes ahead and greenlights a bill that will allow...
I mean, see, that's why they should have just repeat the monarchy, but those other nations were like, no, the monarchy bad. They should have put the monarchy back. I knew it. They should have put it back, but no, the Americans forced them to be democratic and shit. Like everyone forced them to be democratic. Oh, look at how that goes. That's why you should have kept the monarchy, because the monarchy wouldn't have let that shit happen. See?
For the expansion of their territory. They're fine with it, and that's because everyone is going a little bit loco right now. The government is very panicked, and they just want to make sure they're as strong as possible. And with that, they go ahead and send troops straight...
Wait, no, wait, not during my... I didn't say all of this. I said this part here. Like, because this... Like, because this is when, they had access to the Atlantic, and this is where from they went to the Americas and early on and all that. Like... What is this running over? Dutch Empire. Not this version, no, this. See here. This is why you say just here. Because access here. Wait. Damn, laser taste. What did nobody's telling me he did this? Man. But yeah, I was talking about, oh damn, flag. That's a nice flag here. Anyway, that's not what we're talking about. I'm talking about this here. This. It is, thank you.
And they throw in a little bit of crack in there. Candy crack. Their way, and really the Democrats... They're fine with it, and that's because everyone's possible. And with that, they go ahead and send troops straight into Switzerland.
Damn, why is Switzerland always being invaded by someone? It's crazy.
And they don't really fight a war here, they just kind of occupy it, kind of like how Germany did Austria in World War II. They just march in and take it because, Switzerland isn't going to fight back. And that nation will simply cease to exist. It's no longer here, and it is now a part of the Dutch Republic. Notably, that gives them a border with Rome. Very interesting. We're going to have to...
Man, but like I swear, when this happened, I bet everyone in the community, every Rome fan said, "Oh, look at this!" Even though Rome does that every time, but when it's Rome, everyone is like, it's Rome. But when it's someone else, obviously it's bad.
Be watching the Dutch.
I'm watching you, Rome fan, and same for you, old Imperial fan, old Empire fan, because you also are a bunch of hypocrites.
Republic here. They will probably be making more moves in the future, but for now we're zooming out and let's talk about the alternate civilizations in both Atlantis, Mauritia, and Zealandia, and also up here in Doggerland. Don't forget about Doggerland, they're still here. I know that this is like an extremely small piece of land. You might even wonder why was it even resurrected? Listen, it'll make sense soon. The Alternites need land. But what we have happening here is the continued expansion of Alternite civilization on Atlantis. Now, I do want to go ahead and say that I'm going to go back on my word. Originally, I had planned to have just multiple states that were all part of the Alternite Empire. But I decided that might be confusing for some people, and instead we're just going to have one continuous color for the entire civilization on each continent. So even though each continent is a different color from one another, they are still controlled by the Alternites. And the whole thing that I said previously about there being different states, that is no longer true. It's just going to be one continuous color. But as you can see, Alternite civilization is becoming very, very large and expansive, especially...
Valid question though, is this salt water or fresh water?
As more Alternites begin to make the trip to Earth.
Is it freshwater lake or saltwater lake?
And the WICSO world has begun to notice that there are a lot of Alternites coming to Earth. You know, before it was like maybe a few hundred every day. Now it's a few thousand every day. And as time goes on, that number continues to go up, and their civilizations are quickly reaching to the tens of thousands in terms of population. And Atlantis is the first continent to reach a population of 100,000. Now you might be wondering, how do the Alternites already have developments for 100,000 people? They haven't been here that long. The technology, simple as that. They're able to construct buildings very quickly. I'm talking like an apartment complex in a matter of like 5 days. The Alternites are extremely technologically advanced, and that technology is also being shared with the WICSO world. All of the Alternite technology is being shared with them other than their weaponry.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was gonna say.
Other than their military tech. That's the only thing that the WICSO world doesn't have at this point. So you have to really think about this. All of these countries, which might be poor and underdeveloped, are having access to this technology that you can, build entire complexes in 5 days. That is huge. It's going to solve homelessness in the WICSO world, essentially. Now, it's probably going to be pretty expensive for these countries to get this stuff because they do have to buy it off of the Alternites. They are, unfortunately, capitalists still. But maybe they gave it to countries for free. Like, for example, they gave it to West Africa for free because of the damage they caused.
Yeah.
Up for debate. Anyway, over to Doggerland. This will be the first continent/area of land to be completely filled in by the Alternites, as they now border the Red Team and Denmark over here. Doing a quick little major city update, there is now 3 up here in Doggerland. And over in Atlantis, they have begun to sprout out in very many areas, more specifically inland, but now they've added around 2 or 3. Now, I do want to say that the major cities, they aren't like comparable to the WICSO major cities, because these are cities that have been developing for very many years.
Yeah, like some of them are like thousands of years. So yeah, obviously.
Whereas these ones have been developing for a very small amount of time, meaning that their major cities are likely what we would call like towns or small settlements. But in retrospect to the nation itself, they are the major cities because they are the largest cities within this country so far. Now heading on over to Mauritius, this is another major continent for the Alternites. Like I said before, it is Atlantis and it is Mauritius. That's where a majority of the Alternites will be going. Doggerland and Zealandia are still major destinations for the Alternites.
Oui.
Si t'es prêt, tu peux aller acheter les baguettes. J'ai trop de... Je suis en train de faire à manger.
Puis plus tard, la chambre live.
Ok, bah... Je suis à quelle heure?
Quand c'est fini.
Of course.
I mean, honestly, I feel... I don't really have anything to say here, honestly. No, USB. No, it's not. But why do you always spam H? Like first it was like here, and then you continue spamming H. Like, what is it with the letter H? Why H specifically? Like, why not A? You know what? No, I'm giving you ideas. Let's not giving you guys ideas because now because if I do, I'm gonna have like thousands of letters. That's gonna be annoying.
Because they can only go to the 4 continents, but they aren't as major as Mauritius and Atlantis. These are the largest continents, and the Alternites are filling it in very quickly. Arguably,
I wonder though, what type of biomes are like each of the continents? Like, is it like more plains stuff, like central US, or is it more like Europe or Eastern Europe, or like is it more like sub-Saharan Africa, or like is it like tropical? I wonder, or like, does each small continent is like although like for Doggerland, I can easily see what type of environment it might have. Like for things like Atlantis, like shouldn't that also affect the Gulf Stream? Like, is it like more like those are actually all valid questions which will probably never get answered. I'm not gonna lie. Because the Gulf Stream is obviously affected by this, right? Or like, did they actually plan for this? I'm gonna say they planned for it, so this way I don't have to think about it for too long. And also because, yes.
maybe even quicker than Atlantis. After it's all said and done, Mauritius will be filled in looking something like this, and if we zoom out a little bit more, we can see just how filled in both Atlantis, Mauritius, and Doggerland have become so far. As for the major cities,
I actually like Doggerland, I think that's not really that hard to go inland in Darwin. I mean, it's kind of small, so
3 more will be declared, one up here, one right here, and then one down here in the center area. None of them are coastal, notably, but still these are major settlements.
you know, God damn it, just spamming H. H, 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 oh, A, O, A. No, it's actually just H. You know, H, 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 H. Do you guys can say like something else, types of, and you know I can do this too, right? See, I can do this too. It's not that hard. See, here's something else to rope.
Settlements. And now finally heading on over to Zealandia. This will be pretty similar to Doggerland in regard to how quickly the Alternites will go ahead and fill it in.
I mean,
they get all of the north filled in, while so far not touching the south, until very interestingly, they begin to emerge from the Australian territory.
Australia, what did you do?
They don't go super far into the south just yet, as they are more focused on the north, but they fill in a pretty good portion of the southern portion. A good bit of south
Portion.
Zealandia, and this is what the entire continent is looking like as of now. 2 major cities will be built
Nice.
here, and the Alternites are almost done expanding. Also, 2 things real quick. First of all, the capital of the Alternites on Earth is in Atlantis. This is where the Alternite Earth
Okay, interesting. That's good to know.
government is right here. This is also where their leader is currently, no longer in
Damn, he's not in space.
space, chilling on Earth. The second thing is what happened to West Africa. I never mentioned it. Well, simply enough,
Why do I feel like, you know, every second king who is dead and then there's only Alternites? Because second king still feels like a regular slur, I swear. This is not how you call like different species or like that's a regular, that's a slur, that's a whole ass slur.
the Alternites have taken complete control over it, and the WICSO world isn't going to respond because what can they do?
I mean, yeah, they probably have a laser gun, or not even technically no plasma gun, because I hate the term laser gun because lasers are lights. So yeah, plasma gun.
They have all the technology other than military technology, and if you paid attention to the cinematic, you would have heard that the elites said that they've been unable to, capture any of the technology from the front lines over here because the Alternites have done such a good job at recovering it, making sure that intentionally the WICSO world is unable to get their military tech. If they did get it, they'd be able to fight back, and the Alternites don't really want that to happen because if that happens, then they might be kicked off of Earth, and that would not be good for them, to say the least. Now, it will be extremely hard to keep it from them
I mean, obviously, yeah.
forever, and there is a chance that they're going to get some low-tier tech equipment, but what really matters is the high-tier tech equipment, like, their futuristic tanks, their hovercraft things that...
Damn, they still have tanks. Are they really that advanced? I mean, he did say futuristic tanks, but... I mean, really, come on, tanks? Really? Or is it like really fast?
blow up entire buildings at once. That's what the WICSO world wants. They're not too
Only buildings? I was expecting a bit more. I won't lie. They can run like a whole city block or something.
worried about the guns because bullets still kill Alternites. They're not like invincible. They're not lead proof. A bullet to the head will still kill them. But a laser shot to the chest will disintegrate an entire human from the WICSO world.
Yeah, I feel like that's better.
So they might want to get that smaller tech under control as well. Maybe try to find a way to prevent that from happening because that hurts. But now zooming out for a second, we need to talk about the
What do you mean that hurts? That should kill them, right?
Planetary Defensive Treaty Organization. As you guys have probably noticed, this hasn't been mentioned since the Alternites showed back up. And the purpose of this thing was to stop the Alternites from invading Earth. Now, it was a little unexpected when it happened. They didn't invade Earth. In fact, they came in peace and offered their condolences to the WICSO world, which kind of defeated the purpose of this thing. They laid down their arms, and after that, of course, the assembly split up, the New World Order formed, and with that, the PDTO completely collapsed. Like, even the members of the assembly left it. It's no longer there. It doesn't function. But in its absence, members of both the NWO and the AN have proposed a similar alliance in their own respective orders, which are aimed at defending themselves against the Alternites should a threat appear. And the way they do this is going to be very interesting. If you're a member of the AN or if you're a member of the NWO, you're automatically in the new PDTO. You don't have a choice. If you're going to be in the organization, you have to go ahead and make a budget that is specifically meant for the defense of the entire planet. It's going to be expensive, but if you want to be in this international organization, you need to contribute, and you need to understand that this could still be a threat, even though it appears friendly. They did just take out a country in Africa, which is going to go ahead and give a lot of people doubt. And with all that doubt, there just needs to be a way to reassure the people of the world that the militaries can still function together. And so there's one in the NWO, and there's one in the Assembly of Nations. Interestingly enough, they sometimes hold joint drills together. So
that's good, actually, that's good.
Even through all this chaos, and through the division of the NWO and the AN, they still recognize that
humanity. Yeah, humanity, bro. Like those edits, you know, like humanity first. Those edits are really cool.
They are both of the same species, and that the aliens still pose the largest threat to either.
I mean, obviously, theoretically, I mean, again, because I know they're not going to actually do it, but theoretically, they could, again, destroy the planet, so, yeah.
Their organization. So they hold joint drills together. These aren't like friendly drills, they're probably war games, good practice on one another should a war break out between the two organizations. But it shows that there is still unity in the world, even through these chaotic times.
Good.
Now we're moving down to one of the last completely anarchist territories in the world.
Oh my god, it's Papua.
We're moving on to Red Australia. Well, I might have just spoiled it, but we're moving on over to the Yellow Papa country.
Oh, well, you spoiled it. Yeah, no, it's okay. Yeah, so Red Australia is annexing that.
Who is still in complete anarchy. There has been no consolidation of groups here, and it is probably one of the worst off places in the world. Remember, these guys just got their independence not too long ago, and before that they were a nation for a very long time, but the constant in and out of existence on top of the Alternites coming back, the flooding, and now the complete collapse, there is no governance in this nation, and the people here are refusing to be governed.
I think it's just a skill issue in my opinion.
It is like basically primitive humanity over here, except they're all smart and they're very aware of what's happening.
Damn. It sucks.
Dangerous stuff. Really dangerous stuff. A lot of people are dying. So in a very, very weird turn of events, the Australians and the Unitarians make a deal to work together to occupy and annex this thing into their own territories. Yeah, they're enemies. They don't like each other at all, but they recognize that this is getting pretty damn bad, and we need to do something about it before a lot of people start dying. So they draw up a treaty which will divide up the Yellow Papa country between their two nations, and they also agree to work together to bring about order to this island. Once again, this showcases that despite the world being in complete chaos, unity can still be achieved, even between some of the most unfriendly nations. There's always balance in the world, and it's no different here, but the Australians will get the eastern half, and the Unitarians will get the western half. This will be a very interesting experiment to see which side does better under whichever country.
I think, Australia is going to do better.
Like if the fascist side prospers and the Unitarian side doesn't, that's probably going to be really alarming for the Unitarian.
And that's going to be good propaganda for Australia. And going to show that actually Brazil was a good country.
Fascism working instead of Unitarianism? That's concerning. Everyone would assume that it would work better here, which is probably what's going to happen, but you never know. And yes, Australia still
Australia's going to do better.
Is fully fascist. The only fascist country in the world, the most far-right country in the world, and they're still kicking, so props for them. I mean, it's not really a good ideology, but whatever. We're not here to have that debate. We're here to...
Yeah, we're not here to have ideology. Ideological. Did I say that right? Ideological debates.
The WICSO it. But now moving on.
And technically, I'm pretty sure some of the most of the WICSO ideologies are less extreme than in our time, except for Ethiopia.
Back that's over 2 Europe.
Big exception.
We're going to the Dutch team, who probably is definitely expanding again. And now they're attacking yet another Assembly of Nations country. First of all, Switzerland was in the AN. That didn't sit too well with countries like Ireland, nor West
Skill issue, what are you going to do?
Africa. So, the Dutch Republic's kind of being looked at a little bit weird here. But they still want to reinforce their status as an assembly nation, even though we're attacking members of our own kin. We don't care. Let's get crazy. Let's invade the light blue team.
Okay, no. See? That's why we should have brought back the monarchy. Because the monarchy wouldn't have done something stupid like that. They would have just focus on Germany instead of attacking random country that has no ties at all with the Dutch. That's why we should have brought back the monarchy. Exactly.
And this will do two things. It will make Europe even more mad, and it's also going to make Rome mad because Rome wanted this land for themselves. Speaking of
but I bet Rome fan only criticized the Rome Dutch because Rome fans are hypocrites, just like all the Imperial fan.
Rome, here they come. They take over the capital city of the light blue team, and Dutch and Roman forces will meet in this major city here, wiping out the light blue team and also having a little bit of a brief standoff. The Dutch and the Romans still don't like each other, even though they fought on the same side recently, I think. If they didn't fight on the same side, then they were going to at one point, and I ended up scrapping the idea. But I think they did, maybe? I'm not too sure. I think, when they jumped Germany, right? Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Right.
The blue team is...
Yes, they did, yeah. Are you guys doing this? You. Oh my god, now we're doing numbers. No more. No more. Bro, you just spoiled me. One. But even they just don't care. No, I don't want some spoilers. Please, have mercy on me. Please.
Now completely occupied by both the Romans and the Dutch. Let's go ahead and take a look at this peace treaty.
Should have brought back the monarchy.
And in this treaty here, we see that the light blue team will be evenly split between the Dutch and the Romans. Both countries...
Oh my god, that border is ugly. Yeah, that's disgusting. Oh my god.
...are relatively happy with...
Oh my god, that is disgusting. Oh my god, that border is disgusting. Oh, I can't. Ah, my eyes. Oh.
...the outcome of this war.
Oh my
However,
god.
I'm not happy to be sharing a longer
damn,
border now,
this is
but I really highly
disgusting.
doubt...
This is, oh my god, what is this? What is this, man? Oh my god, bro, what is this? What is this, man?
I think will happen because if they do go to war, that risks a war between the stars and the gears, and, well, that's not needed right now with the Ultranites here. The world wants to avoid a world war at all costs because they...
I mean, does it though?
No, it would make them vulnerable, and if the Ultranites have ulterior motives, that would mean that, they have a good time to attack and destroy humanity. So yeah, guys, please don't start World War VI. But now we're going to head down to...
Please do, actually.
...to some of the anarchist territories in the world, and more specifically, we're heading on over to Sudan, where these groups have made some considerable progress in unifying the former claims of this country. And the most notably, the one that claims to be the true government of Sudan has taken over the most land. Now,
Are they really the true government though? Probably not.
unfortunately, they're not all gains, as this group here lost complete control over their territory and fell right back into
Damn, that sucks.
the anarchy. And the Red Nation over here lost considerable control of their land, which might have something to do with the war that was just fought right next to them. Some countries, like the Lime team up here, split into two different sections, while other countries, like the Light Blue team up here, were invaded by another group, this time being the Dark Cyan team. On top of that, however, this country has expanded to reach along the border of Egypt a lot further. The Lime team has also filled in a lot of land along the border of this gray country. The Green team has filled in considerable land as well, getting very close to the Pink team over here and bordering them. And even the Pink team itself, which is relatively new, has taken some land from the unoccupied territories in Sudan. So there's been a lot of growth, especially on the north near the border of Egypt, which might highlight that Egypt is helping out these groups and setting up their governments, while the center area has remained remain relatively unclaimed. Now, in the coming days, what claims to be the true government of Sudan will make some pretty extravagant advances across this territory, aiming to capture this major city, which they do, and also meeting their border with some other nations to possibly establish relations and talking about forming a united Sudanese government. Now, these groups are probably still anarchist and probably don't want to do that, whereas this group is actually becoming a nation of its own. This is essentially the new version of Sudan.
Good. That's a good thing.
It has a government and is beginning to function as one, although in the very early stages of such. Over to Bangladesh, we see some very unique things happening here. We don't see any countries collapse.
Oh my god, is that Persindia? Guys, it's Persindia. Persindia is back. It's Persindia, guys. It's literally the same color.
We don't see any groups take over other groups. Instead, what we see is this kind of working together of the different groups here. They have made their way completely out.
See, and they're even close to India. It's Persindia. It's Persindia, guys. It's Persindia. Guys, I know it's Persindia. I just know it. I just can't prove it yet. I know it's Persindia. I know it's them. What? I'm pretty sure that's not true. You ain't fooling me. What do you mean David Gusber? But yeah, as I was saying, this is Persindia. Can we all agree this is Persindia? Please say... No, can we all agree that this was Persindia? I don't care. Can we all agree this is Persindia, please? Can we all agree this is definitely Persindia? Is the lime... Like, can we all agree it's Persindia? It's obviously Persindia. What other... Yes, it is. It is Persindia. Why is it a lime country in the Indian subcontinent? It's obviously Persindia. It has to be. It's just Greek, is a Greek, grandson of the Imperial Empress. It's really that simple. Yes, it is. This is obviously Persindia. Persindia is already here. He's already came back. You just met him, right?
Out of anarchy and had begun to work together as kind of like a community of nations, which defies a lot of expectations worldwide, especially in a nation like Bangladesh, which has a recent history of being in a lot of turmoil with their neighbors.
Right.
So maybe part of the reason that they're able to stick together like this is because they've been together through that troubled history. They've stuck together. The people here are very united, and thus we see that these groups are just
and then Persindia takes over everything,
working together rather than opposing each other. And it's very possible that we could see a united Bangladesh reappear. The same cannot be said over in Ecuador. I did tease that the red team could just go out and take over all of these lands, and in that time, that's pretty much exactly what they've done. They've taken over both the purple country, I did forget that somehow, and the green team, and they filled in all the unoccupied land and have even begun to take some land from the yellow team, although they haven't fully annexed it or occupied it just yet. This is, in all counts, a dictatorship. No democracy happening here. One guy got into power, and he is trying to consolidate his control over this territory, and a lot of the South American countries around it don't like it because this isn't democracy. Remember, they had a whole economic and military alliance that has kind of fell apart with the anarchy countries, but still, if he goes any further, there could be intervention. Then over here to this community in Africa, there have been no changes here, and these countries are starting to operate on their own. They're not countries just yet. I keep calling them countries or nations. That isn't true, other than like in Sudan and arguably in Bangladesh. But these groups are functioning on their own. They're not worried about each other. And really right now, they're just trying to form themselves as actual nations. Now let's talk about the last completely anarchist territory remaining. Similar to the Yellow Papa country, this country has not been able to form any groups. And also similar to the Yellow country, there is
yeah, it's getting split. I feel like, this major city is going there, this major cities are going there or there, and this is and this is probably going to the orange guys.
A lot of death happening here, and the governments of South America will make the decision to step in. More specifically, the military alliance, as well as the economic alliance, which pretty much go hand in hand at this point, will go ahead and draw up a partitioning of this territory in which the surrounding countries will take control of it and hopefully fix all the problems. Fixing anarchy is something that is very difficult to do as a government, so it's going to involve a lot of collaboration amongst the South American countries, which is very easy to do nowadays. A few years ago, during World War IV, that would have been impossible, but things have changed. South America is the most united continent. But in this partition here, we see how this country will be divided up. So the orange country
Well, I
will get...
guess I was wrong, actually. You know, the yellow team is not getting this. I mean, technically, you know, well, I mean, there's also the mountain thing. Like, damn, imagine, you know, there's a government here and you're building this, even though there's a massing of mountain range here.
The most of it, they take over
Did I just say massive?
for all of this land.
I'm just saying, guys.
The red team will get one province down here, and then
You want to know what else is massive? The Eiffel Tower, obviously.
the brown country
What? No. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure that's not true.
will get the rest. So our updated borders of South America are looking something like this. And notably, the yellow team didn't get anything from this, which is going to leave a bad taste in your mouth.
Yeah, oh yeah, I'm actually speaking. Am I actually? Damn, I'm not speaking too low. Okay, I was just checking that. Okay, so I'm not speaking too low. Good. That's actually.
They feel like they should have gotten at least one province to govern over, but the decision was made to not give them any. So there might have been animosity there, but it also could have very well been unintentional, and that, you know, it just didn't work out for the people that drew up the borders. Nonetheless, though, Yellow Country, not happy. Alright, bro. What did I say about starting World War VI? The Dutch army, which has been very...
Good, yes, that was what you were supposed to do. Thank you, finally a smart move.
very active lately, is now invading Germany. The Dutch leader will come out and say immediately that this is not a full annexation war. They only want some
Man, it should be a full annexation war.
parts of Germany. Not all of it. We just want a little tiny bit. Not all of it. We're just taking a little bit. And obviously, this is going to make the New World Order, the organization that Germany is in, very angry. Because, hey, guess
We're
what?
gonna do declare war. You fool.
What? The Dutch are in the AN. And what did we just say about World War VI? Well, we definitely don't want that to start, so go ham, Dutch people. Go ham. The international orders
I think the international order just has a skill issue.
are too scared to act on one another.
Damn, the Unitarians really are bitches.
And the Dutch are going to get away with their, I don't want to call it a massacre, but their very swift taking of German land. This
I mean, this was their land. This is Dutch land. This is not German.
isn't like the war they fought not too long ago. This is a little bit different. The Dutch are a lot more powerful now.
This is Dutch land. This is not German.
German land never existed in WICSO. Is that clear?
And Germany is a lot more weaker, and, well, as you can see, the Dutch are going to be...
Germany never existed in WICSO. It's just a Russian invention.
Germany is just a Russian invention in WICSO, you know. It never existed, but you know, it exists only because the Russians wanted to make a difference and an excuse for their puppet regime. Don't let yourself get fooled by Cold War and World War III Russian propaganda from WICSO, obviously. Don't get fooled. This is where WICSO, Italy, and the end. The only true thing is Mesopotamia and Arabia split back in half. And you make a video now. But yeah, anyway, this never existed. Germany WICSO is just a Russian invention.
Victoria.
It's only Dutch land.
and taking what they want, which includes a lot of historic lands and also a lot of northern lands over here near Poland. At this point, the Dutch declare that they have what they want, and they will go ahead and form a peace treaty with the Germans, who will reluctantly agree to it, and they're going to go ahead and meet over here in the Orange country to discuss
Bulgaria? Why are they meeting in Bulgaria, bro?
the peace with Bulgaria. Interesting
Bulgaria. I named it. Yeah, that was the name. That's the name I made it.
choice. But in this treaty here, the
Man, isn't it thinking like something like this, and like this, and then something like this.
Dutch will go ahead and move their border a few, maybe 100 kilometers to the right. It's kind of hard to tell the scale of Europe, because Europe is kind of small.
He did not just say that. That is just crazy.
Compared to the U.S., where I'm
It's the same.
from, and
Europe is literally bigger than the US. Oh my god, I'm going to crash out. I'm going to genuinely crash out.
here 100 kilometers is like that much, I think, ish. So this would probably be less than 100 kilometers. I don't know. You guys
Europe is bigger.
get the point, though. They move their border to the right. They annex all this land, including Germany's capital city, which will weaken this country even more, as they are forced to now put it over here. Now, as you can see, this has made Europe very angry. Ireland, not happy. Norway, not happy.
That's just a skill issue, but that's only my opinion.
Poland, not happy. Rome,
Bro, of course it's wrong. Rome are just haters. They're just haters.
not happy. Also, the Iberian Unitarians, not
We don't
happy.
care about Unitarian opinion.
The only people that aren't happy are Green France,
Exactly, this is valid opinion.
because they like Germany a lot. They love Germany. I'm not sure the Dutch love them back. But yeah, the Dutch have been expanding
No, they do love them back, bro. They do love them back.
rapidly. This is all
The cruise ship is Dutch, France. Changed my mind.
occurred within probably a few weeks of each other, which means that this is officially an expansionist country, and countries around it aren't too happy. Rome, they got allies. Poland, they got allies. Germany, they are safe because they have a peace treaty. Norway, allies. Ireland, I don't recommend attacking Ireland. That would be a bad.
I mean, yeah, the Dutch are probably like the second strongest country in Europe, and Ireland is the first. But like, there's a huge difference because, even though, this is only continental, like worldwide, there's a huge difference.
Bad idea. France is friendly with the Dutch, so they're fine. Meaning that, Denmark could be in trouble.
I mean, Denmark is also, no, because that's a Norwegian invention. Because Denmark, again, Dutchland, and even then, Norwegian land is Dutchland, and so is Swedish land. So all of this were just invention.
Or the Alternates, they could go gangster with it.
Let's build.
Norway, allies, Ireland. I don't recommend attacking Ireland. That would be a bad idea. France is friendly with the Dutch, so they're fine. Meaning that, Denmark could be in trouble. Or the Alternates, they could go gangster with it and try to take out the Alternates. Yeah, that would probably happen. But they're gonna chill out for now. They need to take it slow. They need to take it easy, or else maybe some.
Also, the Dutch should probably recreate Austria. That's why we should get back the monarchy, because the monarchy would bring Austria back. But no, they had to bring the democracy.
Countries will come together and try to topple you. But on the topic of schizophrenic and very frantic governments, we're now coming over to the Pink Team, who is, like I said, schizophrenic and very frantic. They will pursue a pretty similar policy to the Dutch, which is survival of our nation by all means. And by all means, this means that they want to take as much land as possible from their neighbor, the Cyan Team, for the reason of resources. The Pink Team wants to hoard as much resources as possible, so if a war ever breaks out with the Alternates, they can get a huge economic boost by selling those resources to the other countries of the world. It is actually a pretty smart plan.
Exactly.
In the fact that you're going to have to send some people in there and have them die, and also start a pretty big war between another country that is equal in size. But there is good news for the Pink Team, and that is that their military is very much stronger than that of the Light Blue teams. This will be a pretty low difficulty war for the Pink Team. These guys don't have a lot going on here other than their resources, which is, once again, what the Pink Team is after, so they can have a resource monopoly should a worldwide conflict ever break out between the Unitarians, not the Unitarians, the Alternites, and the rest of the WICSO world. Anyway, the pink team's invasion of this country is going very well. Now, as for what's happening internally within the light blue team, there's a whole bunch of nothing. Because they are one of the countries that is like on the verge of anarchy.
No, so it's fine. Then the invasion is justified, I guess.
Not there just yet, but
I'm joking, by the way. I'm joking.
Getting close. Their government is still in control via forceful restrictions and stuff like that, and the military forces are exhausted from doing that, and there isn't much of a motivation to stop the pink team from advancing because these guys are still pretty democratic.
Bruh.
Maybe some people here want to be a part of this. But at the same time, there are countries that are going to be watching every single war in the world. As you can see, the pink team is a member of the NWO.
Bro, again?
And this guy is a part of the AN. AN countries tend to have each other's back, like the Seafoam Green country, for example. They are going to be coming in and helping out the light blue team. Just not in the way that you thought.
Yeah, but they're going to help them out, meanwhile. Proceed to invade them.
They're going to be sending their military in to occupy. Now, this isn't really an invasion. Similar to what we saw earlier, they're just kind of walking in and occupying different things. Sure, they might fight in some instances where the military is very stubborn, but for the most part, they're doing this so that there is a stronger nation in control of this territory, and more so to prevent the pink team from getting all of it, which would be
That's valid.
very, very dangerous for the Seafoam Green country. They don't want to have a country that is too strong on their border. With that being said, they do border China and Russia. So adding a third one would be very bad. Anyway,
yeah, exactly.
the light blue team will actually finally collapse. They fall into pretty much anarchy as their government dissipates, which is something that the Seafoam Green country wanted to stop from happening when they went in. Unfortunately, though, they kind of made it worse and they served as a catalyst. Well, nonetheless, the two sides will go ahead and agree to meet for peace in the dark green country down here in Caspia. Anyway,
the monarchist! See, that's crazy because the only monarchist country is the only country that was doing good. Coincidence? I think not.
The peace treaty here, we see that the pink team is going to get all of the resources they wanted and a little bit more, especially population-wise, as they take over the entire western portion of this country. But also we see the Seafoam Green country take land, which is counterproductive to what their original goal was. But as it turns out, they also had some interest in this country because it's going to heavily boost their population as well. This thing is mostly cold in Siberia. However, there are areas within it where people can live, and as you can see, the land that they just took is a large part of that now. So the blue team does still exist. They're given a new government, and the Assembly of Nations comes in and helps them kind of reinforce their stability and to beat back any anarchy. Their new capital city will be right here, very close to the capital city of the gold team, which may or may not foreshadow something. I don't know, I just make the series. But here are our new borders of Asia, and as you can see, there are a lot of countries that are becoming very large in this region. In fact, across the world entirely, there are a lot of
Indeed, that is also true.
Nations becoming large, like Africa Unitaria, the pink team, Seafoam Green country, Pacifica recently. There was even expansion down here in South America that made countries larger, over in Oceania. And the country count in the world, excluding the anarchist territories, is probably the lowest it's been in a very long time.
Indeed.
But now we're finally getting to our...
And I'm not talking about Indeedity.
Our final...
So the Pokemon that has Psych Surge. Anyway.
Event of the video, which is going to involve the Dutch once again. They can't stop putting...
I feel like this just hates the Dutch. And he just wants to make Rome fan happy. But that's only my opinion.
Putting their noses in other people's business. And what the Dutch are doing is they're attacking another nation. This time, as you guessed it, Denmark. But as you've noticed, the European countries have become very angry with the Dutch, and this move is going to come with grave consequences. The Dutch government is fully convinced that the end times are near. They feel like the world is going to end very soon. There's no evidence of that happening, by the way. It's totally not going to happen, but they feel that way.
I mean, episode 100 and this is 98. They're not really wrong.
And because they feel that way, they just want to do whatever they want to do. They want resources, they want population, they want economy, they want land, and
they just want their old land back, which they should have, by the way.
They want a stronger military to fight back against the Alternites should that time ever come. Now, the Alternites in Doggerland are the most chill people in the world. They have no grievances with the WICSO world. They are trying to be friendly with them, except everyone's scared of them, and the Dutch are frantically terrified. The warmest country to them?
I mean, look at to be fair. Look at the long ass border, bro. That's like a huge border. And Concerning the geography of Europe, reminder that this is flat land. There is no defenses here. I mean, except for the defenses that you just put. But then this is just flat land. Yeah, I think that's reasonable, especially because their capital is right here. Yeah, that's valid.
It's actually Denmark, and well, they're being invaded right now. So, in turn, this could make the Alternates mad at the Dutch, maybe, possibly. But like I was saying, this is going to have grave consequences for the Dutch who really don't care. But those grave consequences include the formation of a military alliance. But not really the formation of one, more like the joining of one. That's right, the Danes will get help from the Eastern European Military Alliance, and on top of that, we have Norway joining the alliance simply to fight back against the Dutch, which have attacked one of their friendly nations, surprisingly. Denmark did break away from Norway, however, they built strong relations in that time, so those historic tensions aren't there anymore. Who would have known that it took Denmark to finally get a response to the Dutch's actions? But unfortunately for the Square team, this isn't going to end just here. Because the Dutch, in their schizophrenic attacks, have been building an alliance of their own, which, as of this very second, only includes...
Bro, why not triangles? Where's my triangle? Where are my triangles? I need my triangles, bro.
the French. So the two ancient allies are once again united
I need my triangles, damn it.
on the war front. Ireland is like, yo, we got bigger fish to fry here, but I'm going to stay neutral because that's what I do. Everyone else,
I wouldn't be like...
they're going to war. They're fighting. Now, if you're curious about military rankings, just real quick, the Dutch are the strongest country, followed by Norway, Poland, Finland, and then France. So the Diamond team is the 1 and 5, and then the Square team is 2, 3, and 4. How much stronger are the Dutch over Norway? Considerably stronger, but they're not going to be able to take like a bunch of territory from the Norwegians. But the Dutch will go ahead and occupy all of Jutland, and then they'll move over into the Copenhagen Islands, secure those for themselves while also taking over a little bit of land from the Norwegians, showcasing that they are indeed capable of fighting and maybe even winning this war. Something that they wanted to show for another country. They needed to prove themselves to this country that this war was winnable, and the country they needed to prove themselves to is none other than the nation of Russia.
That's why the monarchy should have brought back. Because the monarchy wouldn't let that happen. They would have allied with Poland instead. They wouldn't have allied with Russia. They should have brought back the monarchy.
Similar to the Dutch, the Russians believe that they need to be as strong as possible for the future in order to preserve themselves as a nation. They understand the world is against all odds, and
The monarchy would have allied with Ukraine.
fortunately,
Yes, indeed.
it's the survival of the fittest out here right now. And they're more so joining against the Eastern Military Alliance, which has a lot of their lands
Should have brought back the monarchy.
retake for the third time now. And them
Brought back the monarchy, bro. Denmark becomes big. Denmark, the Dutch collapse. No, they don't. No, they don't. They're too good. They can't. It's illegal. So Dutch literally, like, physically can't collapse.
working with the Dutch is quite weird. But like I said, the world is in chaos. Times have changed. Everyone is super aggressive. And the overall order of the world as what we knew it is gone. It's different now. Relations break down that easily. Relations can change that easily. This isn't me just trying to make
David, why do I
things
only
happen in
notice
this
this now?
series. This is me conveying to you that the world is insane. Once again, think about it. What if just continents appeared out of the ocean and then the alien race came down that was super far advanced than us and could wipe us out at any second, just came here? How do you think the world would react? Probably not too civically, right? This might be a little bit exaggerated because this is a fictional, mapping series. But Europe has just got itself into a very large-scale war that could definitely implicate other countries to get involved, such as maybe Germany or other nations that see an advantage on either side. That also extends over to Asia. This war will be a very brutal one, but now coming down to one last thing that has just occurred over in Madagascar. The Alternates have landed in the recently formed
Really?
Pink Country
Again.
and have taken over the entire thing with ease. There were very little casualties on either side, but the Alternates once again are showcasing aggression against the whole world, and that is making people even more panicked in these difficult times. Their objectives are completely unknown. They say they come in peace, however, some of their actions defy that. They work with the assembly, yet also defy it. Uncertainty and chaos are at an all-time high, but that is going to do it for today's episode on What If Civilization Started Over. We are now 98 episodes in the series, which means there are 2 episodes left. 99 and 100, they are going to be insane, and I hope you're excited for them. Now, there's going to be a very brief post-credit scene here in a few seconds. If you want to watch that, I have a little bit of background in my leadership. Other than that, if you guys did enjoy, make sure to check out the Discord server. 2.5 hours long. Now, I don't think it's going to be as long because I had to stop recording in here. It kicks on like every 30. On top of that, I'm super behind on assignments for my online class. Thanks. But with that being said, I'll see you all in the next video.
And post credit, and then we're gonna end this live.
People of Earth, I stand before you once again disgracefully. I was notified that, in defiance of my orders to stand down, a section of our military invaded and occupied one of your nations. I want to be clear, I did not order this. While I cannot tell you everything, someone within our government has gone rogue. We will act swiftly to fix this. To the international organizations of Earth, you still have my complete compliance. Once this internal matter is resolved, we will help make this right by any means. Shortly, I will address Earth once again, giving you more information. Thank you.
Damn, why is he depressed? Like,
Sir, the Vice Commander has taken control over 70% of our military forces.
I'm sorry, what?
They are planning to oust you and have him lead the rebellion.
What? Impossible. Those men and women are loyal. They would not betray me.
You sure about that?
Well, sir, things have changed. The troops have no morale. They do not think your plan is going to work.
Well, of course it won't now. The Vice Commander ruined it with his little invasion.
Yes, but he is framing you, and they believe it. The troops are desperate. They fear the Empire.
I see. Then I suppose it's time to tell the people of Earth the truth and fulfill our requirements completely. They must know that a bigger threat is coming, one that will make both of our groups go extinct. If the Vice Commander wishes to overthrow me,
The Empire is definitely the cue.
so be it. But Earth must be prepared.
Okay, that's weird.
And of course, thank you to all our
And of course, that's the end of this live. So see you next time. When it comes to videos, we are in Poly. What? You should increase speed. Should increase speed of what? Hi, by the way. Yes, this is the end of this live. Now, when it comes to videos, normally should be a lore video coming soon, as well as a presentation of some characters of my book, and an alternate scenario about World War One, and yeah, that's basically it. So see you next time. Hope you have a great day, and or whatever time of it. I don't even know. Like, most of my audience is from the US, so probably like for you guys, it's like it's damn it, what it's the afternoon, or no, wait, no, not afternoon. Wait, yes, it is the afternoon for me. It's it's already late. It's almost like 9 p.m. So yeah, see you next time. This is the end of this live. Goodbye.